Okay, let's talk about car prices right now because we know they're still pretty high, especially with the interest rates as high as they are. And if you're in the market for a new or used vehicle, it may be out of reach.
These cars are dying right now, and no one's telling you why. Dealerships are stuffed. Buyers are walking away. Some of the biggest names in the game are collapsing under their own weight, while ads keep pushing them like it's business as usual. Why are these models being quietly dumped? Who's still falling for the pitch? And how close are you to buying the wrong car? Stay sharp, because one mistake here could cost you thousands. Nissan Versa. It used to be the king of the cheap seats. Now it is the car nobody even remembers is still being made. The Nissan Versa was once a champion of budget buyers across the United States. With a reputation for being small, reliable, and extremely affordable, it was the default choice for first-time car owners, students, and rental fleets. Back in the early 2010s, it seemed like the Versa was everywhere. Its simple layout, decent gas mileage, and low sticker price made it a no-brainer for anyone who just needed to get from point A to point B. But in the year 2025, the world has moved on, and the Versa has not. Today's car buyers are not looking for bare-bones sedans with crank windows and cloth seats. They want smart technology, elevated seating positions, and crossover versatility, even on a budget. And the Versa, it still looks, feels, and drives like a commuter car from a decade ago. Its interior is bland, the infotainment is outdated, and the overall experience just feels tired. Even worse, rising interest rates have erased its former affordability edge. Now buyers are finding used mid-size cars and compact sport utility vehicles that offer more features, better safety, and greater resale value, often at similar monthly payments. The numbers do not lie. Dealerships are watching the Versa collect dust, even with cash on the hood. It is not just unloved, it is invisible. But if bare-bones budget isn't your thing, wait until you see the car that proves cheap can actually feel like punishment. If this list is already surprising you, hit that like button. It helps more drivers avoid costly mistakes. And let us know in the comments, which car do you think deserves a spot on this list? Your insight might save someone else from making a regret-filled trip to the dealership. Mitsubishi Mirage G4. Simplicity is supposed to be a strength, but in the case of the Mitsubishi Mirage G4, it has become a liability. This subcompact sedan has carried the title of the least expensive new car in America for several years running. On paper, that sounds like a win. It offers an automatic transmission, decent fuel economy, and a factory warranty, all for less than what many buyers pay for a 5-year-old used vehicle. But in the real world, the Mitsubishi Mirage G4 delivers an experience that feels less like cost-saving and more like compromise. Everything about the car is stripped down to the bare minimum: performance, comfort, and even pride of ownership. With a small 3-cylinder engine and sluggish acceleration, the Mirage G4 struggles to keep up with modern traffic. Inside, the cabin is awash in hard plastics, flat cushions, and outdated design choices. It does not pretend to be stylish, sophisticated, or even competitive. Unfortunately, that kind of brutal honesty does not win over buyers in 2025. Today's car shoppers want more than transportation. They want connection, image, and value. And when your car makes people think gave up instead of smart choice, resale value plummets, and dealership lots fill up fast. Despite offering the lowest new car price tag in the country, the Mirage G4 is being passed over in favor of better used options. Even aggressive incentives are not moving units. Now imagine spending 3 times more and still regretting it. That's where this next Italian beauty crashes and burns. Alfa Romeo Giulia. There are few cars on the market as visually stunning as the Alfa Romeo Giulia. With sculpted bodywork, aggressive lines, and a presence that turns heads on any street, it is the kind of vehicle that makes you stop and stare. It looks fast standing still. It sounds incredible under throttle, and for a brief moment, it seemed like Alfa Romeo had cracked the luxury sport sedan formula. The Giulia promised to bring back Italian performance, precision handling, and character to a segment dominated by German dominance. But that promise unraveled faster than expected. The Alfa Romeo Giulia has become a cautionary tale of beauty without reliability. Owners quickly learned that beneath the carbon fiber and leather hides a troubling pattern of electrical glitches, drivetrain issues, and inconsistent build quality. From infotainment freezes to premature transmission failures, the problems are not just annoying, they are expensive. Dealerships struggle with service parts, resale values are in free fall, and insurance premiums are reflecting the risk. Despite strong initial reviews and passionate enthusiasts rooting for its success, the Giulia is now one of the slowest-selling cars in the country. In the first quarter of the year 2025, national sales barely crossed 500 units. That is not a typo, it is a warning. Even Alfa Romeo loyalists are thinking twice before signing a loan agreement. If the Giulia left you stranded, wait until you meet its sibling, the luxury SUV that looks fast but sells slower than a minivan, Alfa Romeo Stelvio. Heralded as a bold disruptor in the luxury crossover market, the Alfa Romeo Stelvio was supposed to be a game changer. With seductive curves, tight proportions, and aggressive Italian flair, it entered the compact luxury sport utility vehicle segment with a promise to inject style, soul, and driving passion into a market dominated by safe, predictable choices. For those tired of sterile German interiors and anonymous crossovers, the Stelvio seemed like a breath of fresh air. It was born from the same platform as the Alfa Romeo Giulia, meaning it shared the same rear-wheel drive dynamics, balanced weight distribution, and spirited handling characteristics that earned its sedan sibling praise from performance purists. Unfortunately, that promise came with problems, big ones. Like the Giulia, the Stelvio has developed a reputation for unreliability that overshadows its performance. Owners have reported recurring electrical issues, suspension faults, failing sensors, and glitchy driver assistance systems. The upscale interior, while attractive at first glance, suffers from inconsistent material quality and aging infotainment software that lags behind modern expectations. For a vehicle marketed as a luxury experience, it feels unfinished. By the year 2025, the Alfa Romeo Stelvio finds itself buried in dealership inventory across the United States. Buyers who once admired its design now walk away, burned by resale horror stories and expensive repairs. Even with aggressive discounts and cashback offers, sales remain stagnant. It is a textbook case of style over substance, a gorgeous vehicle that lacks the long-term confidence buyers demand. From underwhelming performance to overstocked lots, our next entry tried to go electric, but forgot to bring a reason to exist. Kia Nero electric vehicle. On paper, the Kia Nero electric vehicle appears to be a practical, forward-thinking, compact crossover for everyday life in the 21st century. It is electric. It wears the increasingly respected Kia badge, and it boasts a compact footprint that should make it a perfect fit for urban environments. With a high roofline, modestly futuristic styling, and a low cost of ownership compared to traditional gas-powered vehicles, the Kia Nero electric vehicle looks like a solid option at first glance. However, its real-world performance in the competitive electric marketplace tells a very different story. The Kia Nero electric vehicle suffers from a classic identity crisis. It is not quite large enough to attract families looking for a compact utility vehicle, yet not advanced or affordable enough to appeal to the true electric vehicle enthusiast. Inside, the cabin is minimalistic to a fault. Budget-focused materials, limited cargo space, and a dated user interface make the driving experience feel underwhelming. On the road, the acceleration is adequate but never exciting, and its range does little to challenge the leaders in its segment. By the year 2025, sales of the Kia Nero electric vehicle have declined sharply. Dealerships across multiple regions report rising inventory levels. Despite increasingly aggressive incentives, it falls into an uncomfortable middle ground, too dull for the electric faithful, too impractical for mainstream buyers. Even the promise of lower maintenance and fuel savings cannot overcome its lack of character. Now let's shift from confusion to disappointment, with a legendary badge that returned, only to price itself out of its own fanbase. Nissan Z. Touted as the long-awaited revival of a Japanese performance legend, the Nissan Z should have been a triumphant return for one of Japan's most iconic sports car nameplates. Drawing inspiration from the legendary Z lineage, it arrived with a rear-wheel drive platform, a powerful twin-turbocharged six-cylinder engine, and a six-speed manual transmission that promised to excite purists. Its exterior design paid homage to the past, while its performance specs suggested it could finally challenge the segment's best. For longtime fans, it seemed like Nissan had finally answered the call, delivering a true driver's car for a new generation. But unfortunately, the reality did not match the fantasy. From the very beginning, the Nissan Z was caught between two markets. It was priced too high for its traditional base of younger enthusiasts and too rough around the edges for luxury coupe buyers. Inside, it borrowed heavily from the aging Nissan parts bin, offering outdated technology and uninspired materials. While the car handled well and delivered solid power, the refinement and daily drivability simply fell short of expectations. Compared to rivals such as the Toyota GR Supra or even American alternatives like the Ford Mustang, the Nissan Z lacked polish and presence. By the year 2025, sales have slowed to a crawl. Despite its rich heritage and promising spec sheet, buyers are not biting. Dealers report slow traffic and limited enthusiasm, even when test drive events are organized. It is a car without a clear audience, too expensive for nostalgia, not modern enough for tech-savvy drivers. Performance legends can fall, but electric promises can fizzle even faster. Just ask this forgotten German crossover. Volkswagen ID4. Positioned as Volkswagen's flagship leap into the electric future, The ID4 was intended to be the company's breakout vehicle in the modern electric era, a bold attempt to redefine what a mainstream electric sport utility vehicle could be. With clean lines, a minimalist interior, and the promise of German engineering behind it, the ID4 was supposed to represent Volkswagen's future. It was part of a sweeping initiative to electrify the brand and distance it from its diesel emissions scandal legacy. Positioned as a direct competitor to the Tesla Model Y, the Hyundai Ioniq 5, and the Ford Mustang Mach E, the ID4 aimed straight for the heart of the electric crossover segment. The execution fell flat. The design is unremarkable, and the interior feels unfinished. Capacitive touch controls and a laggy infotainment system frustrate users. Charging infrastructure trails competitors, and real-world range underwhelms, especially in cold weather. While the driving experience is acceptable, it lacks the excitement buyers expect in this segment. By the year 2025, inventory is piling up. Dealers across the country are reporting sluggish sales and a general lack of consumer enthusiasm. Even aggressive financing offers and dealer incentives have failed to build momentum. The ID4 exists in a frustrating middle ground, not premium enough for luxury buyers, not affordable enough for the mass market. From electrified letdowns to overbuilt giants, this next truck was made to move mountains, but it can't even move off the lot. Ford F550 Superduty, engineered to dominate the toughest job sites in America. The Ford F550 Superduty is a true heavyweight, both literally and metaphorically, in the world of heavy-duty work trucks. Built with a ladder-frame chassis, capable of supporting dump beds, utility racks, and mobile cranes, this truck was engineered for municipalities, construction companies, and utility fleets that demand serious towing and payload capability. It was never meant for the average consumer. With a massive diesel engine option and bulletproof drivetrain, the F550 was built to be a worksite warrior, a backbone of blue-collar America. On paper, it should be unstoppable. In today's economic climate, however, it is stalled on the sidelines. Once a commercial favorite, the Ford F550 Superduty is now one of the most overstocked vehicles in America. In areas like Philadelphia, inventory exceeds 2,300 days. High interest rates, costly insurance, and limited fleet financing have pushed companies to keep older trucks instead of upgrading. Even fleet-focused dealerships are struggling to justify new orders. The F550 is a capable machine with no one left to buy it. If you think that beast is stuck, just wait until you see its smaller sibling suffering the same oversized problem. Ford F350 Super Duty. Built to embody the grit and muscle of American labor, the Ford F350 Super Duty has long been a symbol of American strength, an all-purpose workhorse trusted by contractors, ranchers, and weekend haulers alike. With available turbocharged diesel power, class-leading towing capacity, and rugged engineering, the F350 earned its place on job sites and highways across the country. It comes in trims ranging from basic vinyl floor work truck to near-luxury highway cruiser, making it one of the most versatile heavy-duty pickup trucks ever built. But in the year 2025, its reputation alone is not enough to keep it moving off dealer lots. A series of miscalculations triggered an inventory crisis. During the chip shortage in the year 2023, dealers overordered trucks, anticipating high demand. Instead, inflation surged, interest rates rose, and uncertainty grew. Now, outdated models flood lots, with some dealers holding more than 630 days of unsold inventory. Buyers in the heavy-duty pickup market are extremely sensitive to model year changes. Even a small update in styling, towing features, or technology can make the previous version feel obsolete. Combine that with sky-high monthly payments and a general decline in new construction projects, and the result is clear. The F350 is sitting still. These pickups are sinking, but the next sports car on our list proves that passion alone doesn't pay off in the showroom. Toyota GR86, crafted for those who crave a raw, unfiltered connection to the road. The Toyota GR86 is the kind of car that driving purists dream about. Lightweight, low-slung, rear-wheel drive, and available with a proper 6-speed manual transmission, it offers the kind of analog driving experience that is becoming increasingly rare in today's technology-obsessed automotive world. Designed as a spiritual successor to the beloved Toyota AE86 and the original Scion FRS, the GR86 was engineered with driver involvement in mind, not drag races or spec sheets. For enthusiasts craving simplicity, balance, and engagement, it should have been a smash hit. Instead, it is one of the slowest-selling vehicles in the country. In January of the year 2025, only 36 Toyota GR86 units were sold nationwide. The market has shifted. Sports coupes without all-wheel drive, usable rear seats, or strong resale value are no longer practical. Buyers now prioritize comfort, flexibility, and hybrid or electric vehicle alternatives instead. Even die-hard fans are hesitating. Rising financing costs and internal competition from Toyota's more powerful Supra have pushed this once promising car into a niche too narrow to survive. From every angle, it is a pure driving machine, but purity does not move inventory. And speaking of icons losing their grip, our next entry might be the most famous muscle car America's ever made, and it's fading fast. Ford Mustang Coupe. Few vehicles carry the legacy and cultural weight of the Ford Mustang Coupe, powered by a traditional internal combustion gasoline engine. It is one of the most recognizable vehicles in American automotive history. For more than 6 decades, it has symbolized affordable performance, youthful rebellion, and the thrill of rear-wheel drive dynamics. Whether you remember the classic fastbacks of the 1960s or the aggressive muscle cars of the early 2000s, the Mustang has long held its place as a cultural icon. Generations of drivers have fallen in love with its thunderous exhaust notes, muscular stance, and ability to turn a mundane drive into something unforgettable. In the year 2025, the Ford Mustang Coupe is struggling. Dealers hold year-old inventory, some unsold for over 400 days. Buyers now prefer crossovers and electric vehicles. The rise of the all-electric Mustang Mach E has further diluted the brand, drawing attention and sales away from the traditional model. Younger buyers are no longer dreaming about V8 engines. They are looking for smartphone integration, hybrid mileage, and environmentally conscious badges. Meanwhile, older buyers are being priced out due to rising interest rates and higher insurance costs. Even steep discounts and extended financing have failed to move the needle. The Mustang Coupe is no longer the heartbeat of American performance. It is an echo. Classic nameplates are struggling, but luxury brands are crashing even harder. And the next one is driving British prestige into the ground. Jaguar FPace. Launched with promises of redefining British luxury in the sport utility segment, the Jaguar FPace entered the market with high expectations. With bold styling, athletic proportions, and a badge that once stood for British luxury and refinement, this mid-size sport utility vehicle was designed to stand out. It combined aggressive aesthetics with premium cabin finishes, aiming to challenge the dominance of German rivals such as the BMW X3, the Audi Q5, and the Mercedes-Benz GLC. Jaguar positioned the F-Pace as the perfect blend of sportiness and sophistication, promising both dynamic handling and everyday practicality. For a while, it looked like the formula might work, until reality caught up. By the year 2025, the Jaguar F-Pace is among the most overlooked luxury vehicles in America. Reliability issues persist, including engine faults and electrical problems. Interior materials feel subpar for the price, and the infotainment system underdelivers. Ride quality, once a highlight, now feels overly stiff and disappointing. In today's competitive luxury sport utility vehicle market, buyers expect flawless execution. They want reliability, resale value, and seamless technology. Unfortunately, the Jaguar F-Pace fails to deliver on all 3 fronts. As newer competitors from Genesis and Acura continue to gain trust, Jaguar's reputation suffers. Dealerships across the country are offering deep discounts just to get these vehicles moving. Luxury missteps are bad, but when muscle goes green and no one's on board, it's a full-blown identity crisis. Dodge Charger. For decades, the Dodge Charger has roared onto roads as a symbol of raw American power. For decades, this full-size sedan delivered muscle car attitude with aggressive styling, rumbling V8 engines, and an unmistakable presence on the road. Whether roaring down the highway or idling at a red light, the Charger commanded attention. Its legacy as a working man's muscle machine made it beloved by gearheads, police departments, and performance enthusiasts across the United States. But in the year 2025, the newly redesigned Dodge Charger has entered a strange new era, and the results have left everyone confused. The new Dodge Charger aimed to modernize with hybrid and internal combustion engine options, blending tradition and electrification. However, it satisfied no one. Muscle car fans feel betrayed by the hybrid shift, while tech-savvy buyers still see Dodge as outdated. Its radical design has received a mixed, often negative, response. To make matters worse, prices have climbed significantly. Add rising interest rates and tighter bank restrictions on performance car loans, and suddenly, the Charger is out of reach for many of the very people it was built for. Even generous dealer incentives have not moved the needle. Sales remain lukewarm, and inventory continues to build. A car caught between 2 worlds rarely finds a home. Some cars lose relevance slowly. Others never had it to begin with, like this stripped-down minivan that even budget shoppers are walking away from. Chrysler Voyager. Conceived as a no-frills solution for families and fleet buyers alike, the Chrysler Voyager was created to serve a very specific purpose: offer a practical, budget-friendly alternative to the more upscale Chrysler Pacifica. In theory, it was a smart play. Take a proven minivan platform, strip it down to the essentials, and sell it to fleet operators, large families, and cost-conscious buyers who just need dependable space. The Voyager carried the same recognizable shape, the same sliding doors, and the same road presence as its more expensive sibling. But somewhere along the way, it lost what little appeal it had, and now it is struggling to survive in a segment that has moved far beyond compromise. By the year 2025, the Chrysler Voyager feels hopelessly outdated. Inside, the cabin is stripped bare, missing the modern infotainment, safety technology, and comfort features that today's families consider essential. Even fleet operators, once the vehicle's core customer base, are turning away due to rising operating costs and poor resale value. The seats feel cheap, the materials are harsh, and the driving experience is uninspired at best. Buyers want value, not punishment. The problem is that today's shoppers expect more from even the most affordable minivans. Brands like Kia, Toyota, and Honda offer more refined alternatives with stronger warranties, better efficiency, and far superior technology. The Chrysler Voyager simply cannot compete. Dealerships are loaded with unsold units, many collecting dust for months. It is not just underperforming, it is being ignored. And finally, we land on a nameplate so hyped, so high-tech, and now so ignored, it has become the ultimate warning for electric car buyers. If you've made it this far, you're clearly serious about buying smarter. Hit that subscribe button now, because this channel brings you real talk, not sales talk. Stay ahead of market traps, overpriced mistakes, and dealer spin. One click today could save you thousands tomorrow. Don't miss what's coming next. Ford Mustang Mach E. Introduced as Ford's boldest step into the electric age, the Ford Mustang Mach E was supposed to redefine what a performance electric vehicle could be. Borrowing the legendary Mustang name and pairing it with a fully electric powertrain, the Mach E was marketed as a bold step into the future. It featured sleek fastback styling, all-wheel drive options, and impressive acceleration numbers, all wrapped in a package that looked nothing like the gasoline-powered pony car it was named after. Ford hoped to create a bridge between its muscle car legacy and the electric future. But by the year 2025, that bridge has begun to crumble, and the vehicle at the center of it is stalling hard. Despite early excitement, the Ford Mustang Mach E is rapidly losing consumer interest. Dealerships report months of unsold inventory. High prices and rising interest rates are pushing it out of reach for typical buyers, while competitors like Tesla, Hyundai, and Chevrolet offer better pricing, superior tech, and more reliable charging infrastructure. Even loyal Ford buyers are hesitant. The use of the Mustang name has alienated traditional fans, while the lack of real innovation has failed to convert electric vehicle purists. Software bugs, range inconsistencies, and a crowded segment have pushed the Mach E to the back of the pack. It is a cautionary tale in branding, timing, and execution, and it tops this list for good reason. You've seen the worst, now drive smarter. Subscribe for more brutally honest car breakdowns, comment with your biggest surprise, and share this to help someone dodge a costly mistake before it's too late.